So you're talking.
Oh, sorry.
I can hear you, Kristen. If
Okay, yes.
it looks like both of us, both students are named Kristen though, so I don't. That may be a little confusing, but we'll work with it. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Press that to mute.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I don't
great.
see them in the video.
Oh, no.
I'm seeing his screen. I'm seeing his screen. There you go. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hold on, I don't.
Is the other Kristen on? I can't.
Yes. Can you hear? Oh,
Both Kristens? Okay, good.
yes.
I'm ready to go if y'all are.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing would just be to introduce ourselves because we haven't actually met yet. I read your introductions, but you can probably assume that I forgot. So you might as well, because there are a lot of students. So you can just maybe tell me quickly maybe your majors um, and anything else you think is important.
I'm Kristen Martinez. My major is health management.
Okay.
That's that's that.
I'm Kristen Talon, and my major is surgical tech. Well, soon, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think most students are health related, it seems like in this class, either health or process tech. So maybe we'll be able to talk about some health related examples. Um, but just to get started, so basically, I just want to talk to you guys about the chapter that we read. So we're doing the moral skepticism chapter, and because you guys are first, you're sort of the guinea pigs. So don't be too worried about it. It's not going to be too too difficult for you because I know that this is the first time. So don't feel too nervous. And I'm Walter Barta. Just to get my own introduction out of the way. You would have, I guess, you only would have known that if you had watched any of the YouTube videos. But yeah, I'll basically just be asking you guys some questions, and we'll be trying to work through the chapter together. And after we're done with that, we're going to post the video so that the other classmates can see it and comment on it and give their own ideas as well. Does all of that make sense?
Yeah, awesome.
Do you have any questions up front about it? Like just anything to get off your chest?
So these are like our discussions for the class. Are they agreed?
Yeah. So the idea is that you'll be the discussion leader for this chapter, and other students will be discussion leaders for other chapters, and um, the all the discussions will be posted for you to see, and then at at the end of the course, you will have done 3 discussions where you're the leader, right? So this is the first one, which is the moral theories discussion, and the next one will be moral problems discussion, and then the one after that will be the last one, which is the popular culture discussion, where you get to choose a popular culture topic that of your interest, and tell me something about it that's philosophical, if that makes sense. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Okay. And feel free to, if you haven't already. I know I was looking at it just earlier today, and I'm also speaking for the rest of the class in talking to you too. If you haven't signed up for those other discussions, definitely sign up for them in advance so that you can, if you're picky about which ones you want, you can get the ones that you want. Okay, so we're going to talk about moral skepticism. So do you, the first question I want to ask you guys, just what are like the main theories of moral skepticism that we're looking at? There were a few that were covered in the chapter. What were some of those that you thought were the important ones?
The main ones were the ethical egoism, relativism, and
The
psychological egoism.
Yeah. There was at least one more, right? Error theory?
The error theory, yeah.
Yeah. So those were like the four. And of those different types of skepticism, what was, did you guys have any that you favored? Like, what was your favorite one? Did you think one was more convincing than the others, or did you think they were all unconvincing? And if they were all unconvincing, what was the least unconvincing, if that makes sense? What do you guys?
The relativism one.
Okay.
Like the era theory one. That like the unicorn exists kind of thing, but it isn't actually real.
Yeah. So error theory. It's like the idea is that it's an analogy with unicorns. So unicorns don't exist, we assume, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is that morals also don't exist, just like unicorns. That was the one that you thought was most interesting, I guess.
But I feel like that wasn't most interesting. I feel like I didn't really not relate to it. I just, the whole thing of like no morals. I feel like there is a lot of morals kind of thing.
Okay, so that's the one that you related to the least, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you relate to the most was the relativism. That's what you said, right?
Oh, yes, that one, because it's like relative to each person or each society kind of thing.
Okay. What about you, Kristen? Other Kristen.
You can say Kristen Ed or Kristen Martinez to make it less confusing.
Okay, I'll try.
I thought for me, I think I'm more of an ethical egoism. Like, ethically, like, I would probably save someone I know than, like, random strangers.
Okay.
Like, for, like, the trolley scenario that they do, I think I'm more like that. And I also agree with the other Kristen that I don't really, like, I wouldn't understand, like, the error theory.
Okay. So maybe we can talk about all three then, and we'll try to get you so that you understand the error theory, but we'll also see if we can justify either of those others. So we said egoism and relativism might be our preferences. Let's start with relativism, because I think we said that first. What was your thought? What was like your most best case reason to think that that relativism might be a good theory?
Like, I feel like there's just so many people that you meet kind of thing. I feel like you can find like a similarity in terms of like morals, but I feel like nobody has like the exact thing. I feel like there's always like a specific value they hold of like what kind of morals they have kind of thing. Or so like some thing specifically, like some people like God, but some people don't like God, but like,
Okay. So other people have different ideas about morals, basically?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like, it's like each person or each society, like sometimes you have societies who have, like it's a group of people who have like morals as like, a whole kind of thing.
Okay. So, so we can also say something like, uh, the the morality is located, like the deciders are the societies. Is
Hmm.
that does that
Yes.
is that a good summary?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're gonna say something like, the societies are the ones determining the morals. Um, and I'm writing this down so that we can keep track of what we're saying. So let's see. If we think that that other people have different ideas about morals, therefore relativism is true. Is that do we think that we need to say something else? So is that a do we think that when other people have different ideas about something, that there isn't a true thing to be said about that thing? Does that make sense? So like when we say that lots of different people have different ideas about Bigfoot, let's say some people think Bigfoot is an ape, or some people think Bigfoot is just a guy in a costume. Does that mean, does the fact that different people have different ideas, do you think that that makes it a true theory about, like, that everybody's right about Bigfoot? What do you think about that?
Yes, in a sense, just because it's like what I take away from somebody else's, view kind of thing. Like I feel like I guess you could like sit and argue about it kind of thing, but like I feel like that's like the freedom of having morals. It's like I'm allowed to believe that Bigfoot is out there kind of thing. We haven't seen him, but he's real. But maybe like Kristen N doesn't believe that kind of thing. But I feel like she's able to do that kind of thing because she just thinks differently. She views it differently.
Okay.
But I feel like we can both still be right.
Okay, so you're right. You're right in terms of your own opinions, basically.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think, Kristen M? Does that sound like it would be reasonable to think that other people can all be right?
I think so, especially with the book Bigfoot thing that you were saying, because at the end of the day, there is something there. If someone, whether there is like a mystical creature in the woods or someone wearing a bear costume, there is. I don't know. Wait, I don't know.
It
Good
sounds.
point. Like it's like yeah.
No, go on.
It's. I'm not sure. But I guess like if it's just what people think and believe.
Okay.
I think I'm just confused about it all. And
Okay. No, that's fine. It's fine to be confused about it. So, it seems like, what I'm trying to get at is, it seems like there are some things that we it seems like there are some things where we sort of have this agree to disagree mentality, but there are other things that, like if somebody told you, let's not do Bigfoot, let's do something a little more that we all agree about, like the sky is blue, maybe. We would, if somebody disagreed that the sky is blue, we might be confused by them saying that, because we think sort of like that most people, when they look at the sky, they do see that the sky is blue, or something like that, or like if there's a like that, or maybe we can even better than the sky is blue, because some people are colorblind, so we maybe don't want to exclude colorblind people. But gravity exists, right? We might think it would be crazy for somebody to think that gravity doesn't exist. But at the same time, like we if we're a relativist, we do think that we can have different moral opinions about things and disagree about it, but both be right. So do you see the question I'm asking? Like, So I guess morality is not like gravity if you're a relativist, right?
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does make more sense.
Okay. So,
It's
yeah, were you going to say something else?
it's like people are like, I believe in ghosts, and then people are like, well, I believe in spirits and this, but it's just like it's kind of all the same thing, like that. Like, it's like still not even there. It's not even like a thing that's there.
So morals are kind of like the ghosts then, in that they're not like gravity, they're more like ghosts.
I guess the
I guess
belief of
so.
those kind of thing.
What's that, Kristen?
Like the belief
Yes,
of
so.
ghosts kind of thing. Like some people believe in ghosts, but other people can believe in like spirits, and some people can believe in like witches. Like it's the same. I can't think of the word. Like the same kind of spectrum, I guess you'd say.
Okay. So there's a different spectrum of different kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay to not know, right? So one of the things that is tricky about these philosophical questions is that they're kind of like questions that maybe we don't have good answers to, right? So it's more important to be like questioning about it than it is to figure it out right away. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to make you not feel like I'm putting you on the spot. So, okay, so if we're part of this, if we can move on to the other thing that you mentioned, the idea that societies are the ones determining of the morals. So this one's interesting. I was going to ask you, if societies are determining of the morals, what do you think like determines the boundaries of the society? So like, is your family a society, or is the country a society, or are there like, is the state a society? Like, how do we determine the society, and are like we part of more than one society?
I would say definitely a part of like multiple societies kind of thing. Because I feel like, of course, like you can have your family be like a part of that society kind of thing. If like as you grow up kind of thing, you're gonna like learn kind of thing of other people's culturally norms and morals and things. If like eventually you end up in this one because you're like I was raised to believe this kind of thing, but now I've learned this and I've experienced this. So I feel like you would definitely end up in like multiple groups of. Yes, I brought the word.
Okay, so every different level is a society then?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about then, if all the levels are societies, like how would you decide between the different levels? Like if your family wanted you to do something that was like against your country or something like that, what do you think?
I don't think I would do it. Just like if my family was just like, I want you to do this because it's what we think is right, I don't think I would. Because I feel like if I thought it was wrong, I wouldn't be doing it.
Okay, so you think that you think you would actually decide against what your family thought?
Yeah, like if it was like bad morally to me, I guess, yeah.
Okay. So then you think probably then, like, what you're leaning towards then is that these what the family and the country says might actually not be the most moral thing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It looks like somebody else joined us. Bree.
I did, but I don't know how to mute it. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Just there should be a little microphone symbol that you can click on that should mute you. It looks like a microphone. There you go. Okay, so it looks like we have two different arguments possibly for being a relativist, but maybe we if we think that being a if we think that we want to tell our family no or tell our country no, then ultimately maybe we aren't relativists, because then we would be saying that the relativism basically would be like overridden by what you think is actually moral, if that makes sense. But we could talk about egoism next. So Other Kristen said that she favored the idea of ethical egoism. So what do you think is the best argument for ethical egoism? Any thoughts?
What do you mean?
Like, why?
The best argument?
Say that again?
The best argument is probably because you're going by what you want to do, like yourself.
Okay.
And there's like no one to blame because it's your decision that you are making.
Okay. So
Although it could be selfish, but
that
it's the best for you.
okay, so we're saying that it's your decision. And if it's your decision, then ethical egoism is true? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the fact that the decision is yours, because in every given case, like in every given case that we make a decision, it's us who's making the decision. So if that's true, if it's us who's making the decision, then it's always going to be true that ethical egoism's true, basically. Does that capture the idea?
Not exactly, because ethical egoism is like your own self-interest.
Okay. Yeah, so ethical egoism's acting in your own self-interest. So just because it's your decision doesn't mean you're acting in your own self-interest? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, just because it's your decision doesn't mean it's like your own self-interest. You can just do it because that's what you think is right. You don't get any benefit. Like, you could be doing this just because you think it's right without any benefit.
Okay. So what I'm writing down is just because it's your own decision doesn't mean it's in your benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that seems reasonable to think, right? Like, so an example would be like that. What would be an example like from your healthcare professions that we could use there?
Healthcare profession?
So you're both what was it? Surgical tech and health
Management.
health management. There we go. So can we give examples from that?
I don't know, maybe like just like the daily thing, like you go to work kind of thing, not for your own benefit, but you're going to like help patients kind of thing, like you're helping them to improve their health and stuff. Like, I decide that, but no, it doesn't benefit me, you know? It's benefiting others.
Yeah, so you're the one making the decision, but ultimately the decision is for other people, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that is a good argument against ethical egoism? Like, it's a good example?
It is also like you're going to work, so you're getting money.
Yeah, I guess it's in your self-interest also.
That's
Good,
but then
good point. Right?
then it's like you chose this job because you want to spend your life doing these things, helping people. Like that's
Yeah, that's a great point, right? So you may be getting something out of it because you're getting a salary, but that doesn't mean that you're not helping other people. You can help yourself and other people at the same time, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, your original decision to choose that job, maybe you could have decided to make more money doing something else or something like that, but you chose this job particularly because it helps people.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean we aren't ethical egoists? What do you think?
I'm not.
You're not.
I don't think I am.
Okay. Okay. Does so does going through those arguments make you feel more confident about thinking like that then?
Yes.
And it makes sense. Do you have any questions about any of what we went through so far?
I don't have any questions.
So far, no. No questions.
Okay. Let's talk about error theory then. So that was the one that there was a little bit of confusion expressed about, right? So let's try to work through it. So we talked about unicorns a little bit. So if morals are like unicorns, and unicorns don't exist, then morals like unicorns might not exist, right? That's what we mentioned. So what's confusing particularly about that?
I just feel like I guess morals feel like to me they are real kind of thing. I feel like most people follow morals, like unlike unicorns, they're generally not real kind of thing.
Okay. Other Kristen, did you think similarly, or did you have any other ideas?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there is morals. Like there's just things that you do or don't do, and it's just there.
Like even if someone doesn't exactly have morals they follow, I feel like there's still something that like they follow, unknowingly, which would be still morals. Like maybe someone doesn't have set morals, but they still decide to be good or they still decide to be bad.
Okay. So people, I guess the idea would be that people do have morals. People do have morals, and you can see that people, in fact, do have morals. So that is something unlike unicorns.
What do you mean, like unlike unicorns?
Well, so we assume that unicorns don't exist because like we've never seen one, right? And it seems like nobody's ever seen one. So unless somebody goes into the forest and sees one tomorrow, and then we'll be proven wrong. But assuming that doesn't happen, then they're not something we can observe. And so we assume they don't exist. So morals, you're saying, are something that we do observe, that people do? And so that makes them different from unicorns?
It makes them real.
I think, yeah, you see them see like the action of morals every day, like in television and like in movies and pop culture. So that's why I do think they exist, because you see what happens whenever somebody does something that's morally wrong or like could be morally wrong, and you see the consequences of their actions. So it kind of is real.
Okay, so people are acting out morals every day all around us, and those actions have consequences, and all of that actually, the actions and consequences actually are real, and so that's what makes the morals real.
Yes, that's what
Yeah. So I guess the error theory question you could ask would be something like, well, what if everybody in the world sort of is just mistaken about it? Like they all think that they're acting on morals, and that's, they go about their life thinking that that's what they're doing. In the same way you might go about your life believing in unicorns, right? Some people do believe in unicorns, but I think we think those people who believe in unicorns probably are mistaken. So is it possible that the people believing in the morals are mistaken? What do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think they're mistaken.
I feel like it's such like a
I feel
hard
like
comparison too.
Yeah. Can we use like a mermaid instead of unicorn?
Sure, mermaid's fine.
Yeah, I believe in mermaids. I don't believe in unicorns though. I believe in aliens, but I don't believe in unicorns.
I think aliens is a good one, because I feel like unicorns just are genuinely not real. Like there's been no sighting. There's, I don't know. To me, I just can't grasp it because I just know unicorns aren't real.
Okay. So but you do believe in aliens. So aliens is an interesting one, because it's like aliens, we don't really have the ability to see that far on other planets, right? So we can't really know about the aliens yet. Maybe someday, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So is that, maybe you think morals are like aliens, where if we could sort of like, if we had a big enough telescope, we could see the moral, we could like be sure about it, much more sure about it.
I don't know. I feel like just morals are also just like gut feelings. Like, just if whether something's morally good or morally bad, you yourself know it. It's just like a gut feeling that you have. I don't think it's like, are they going to get a list of like, this was okay and this was bad.
Okay.
It's like, have you seen The Good Place?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like they all ended up in hell because of like the little minuscule things that they did. Like, and it's just like, you can't know. Like, those things, like, we don't know, like, I didn't pick up a trash can. Negative 2 points. Supposedly going to hell or the bad place, they say. It's like, we don't know, and I don't think we will know.
Okay.
But, well, it's morally good.
So that is, you are expressing a little bit of skepticism there, right? Because if you're saying it's something we can't quite know, then that's sort of, you're not an error. You're not believing that they don't exist, but you're saying, well, we can't prove that they exist. Something like that, maybe. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay. And well, and then you also said something about gut feelings. So if morals are your gut feelings, that might be closer to what we talked about with the ethical egoism, right? Maybe morals have something, maybe morals are like this thing inside of us that we can tell exists. What do you think?
I think so. Psychological egoism?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about psychological egoism. Did you guys understand the difference between those two?
Yeah, I think it was like the ethical was. It's like it was
You
like
should. You
you
should.
should.
And then the other one was will.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so ethical egoism is you should do what's best for yourself. And psychological egoism is you will do what's best for yourself. Yeah. Do you want to talk at all about that one?
No, we don't have to.
Okay. Yeah, the only question I wanted to ask you about this morals or gut feelings thing, I was curious, does that mean that no matter what your gut feelings are, it's the moral thing to do? So like, does it matter, like if you had bad gut feelings, like your gut feelings was that you wanted to do bad things, would that change your mind?
I mean, yes. Yes, it would.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on the person, because, people have mental illnesses, and they're crazy sociopaths, or
Yeah.
some people have OCD,
Yeah.
and that makes you think, crazy things too, so it's just, I don't know. It's all good points.
Yeah, and don't feel like you have to answer, because the whole idea is like for every new idea that we create, we can also like ask a new question, right? So that's what I've been sort of trying to do with you guys is to just ask you questions to dig deeper into the ideas. So okay, so I think we'll end in a second, but before we end, what of these considerations of skepticism, what do you think are, like, even if you aren't an arrow theorist or you aren't an egoist, what do you think might be some important things to take away from talking about and thinking about these types of skepticism? What do you think are good takeaways?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, even if you're not a skeptic, what do you think might be some good takeaways to think about skepticism? Like, did you feel like you learned anything that could be useful?
That is different to everybody else. Like, I feel like everyone's gonna be kind of a skeptic about it, kind of thing. That I feel like it kind of like still comes down to like it's just different to everybody.
Okay. So so like, even if you think that certain things are like what you should do, it's true what you're saying, that other people are going to have different ideas from you, right? So like, we have to live in a world where other people have like all these different ideas from us, and we have to think about that. What do you think?
Like, I feel like when I think about it, it's just like like a murderer would have their morals about murdering someone. They could justify it enough to them it wouldn't be bad, to them it's good, That's what I'm like when I think about that. It's just like, I would definitely not have the same thoughts. Like, my morals would always go against that. But to them, I feel like they could justify it enough because it's like, in their self-interest kind of thing.
Okay.
It's not morally bad to them.
Yeah, so somebody might be bad from your perspective, and and they don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
But you have to live in the world with that person. That person exists, right? Probably.
Yeah.
There are probably lots of people like that. Yeah. Yeah. Any other last thoughts of like any valuable insights? Okay. Well, thank you for being the first guinea pigs for this. We'll I'll let you guys go, but make sure to make sure to sign up for your next one,
Okay.
if you haven't already. And
I think I've already signed up for it. Yeah.
okay, great. And with the popular culture one, that one, be sure to think of what's your favorite pop culture thing.
What are some examples of like one of those?
Well, so you gave an example, which is The Good Place. So there's a lot to say about The Good Place, though I actually the Good Place is a little bit on the nose, to be honest, because it's actually about a philosophy professor, right? I also, so in this Discord, I posted a pop culture topic thread, and the only one I put in there so far is Severance, the TV show. Have either of you seen that one?
I know. I've just heard about it recently.
So
I've seen the first 3. That's it.
okay. So so it whatever TV, so you could ask yourself, what was the last TV show that you watched, and think about it in terms of a topic that we discuss in this class. So like, did your TV show address issues related to skepticism? If it did, what were the characters skeptics? Were they egoists, or were they relativists? Something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, and actually, please, if you think of things, be free to post them in that thread, and that can get other people posting them and make more ideas for everybody, so that nobody feels like they don't have an idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, great. And actually, so here's a book from my shelf. Can you see this one? So this one's on The Witcher.
Oh, The Witcher?
Let me look for the next one. This one's on Louis C.K., the comedian. Here's one on Legend of Zelda, the video game. So you could basically choose any topic that you please, and I would be fine with pretty much everything, and anything as long as you could make it relevant. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for volunteering first, and have a good day, and I'll see you at the next session.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day as well.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.